Okay, so I'm now here with Tomas from the Samotsoh Salon. So I just thought it would be interesting for people on the other side here to hear a little bit about your story, like where this started to becoming what you are today.
Yeah, I mean, I started as a student. I studied the hairdressing school, and then I get a learning period, apprenticeship at the Salon, and they were a lot into competing. So I started competing, and I won the Swedish championship for juniors several years in a row. So I could compete in the seniors, and I became a staff in that salon, and then I was asked to actually be a part owner, because the person that owned the salon wanted it to change, and I had a lot of ideas. So I went to 50 part owner with him, and I started to think about all these changes that I wanted. And after 1.5 years, I had a full book of a business idea that I wanted us to be. And sadly enough, he said to me, "No, we can't do that." And no, I done that in the 70s. I got so pushed down out of it because he wanted me to have all these ideas, and I wanted it to happen, but it never happened because of different reasons, I expect. And suddenly I had a full business idea. So I couldn't stay. I loved the place and I would love to stay, but I couldn't because I have this business idea. And when you start to come so far, you have to do your idea. So I didn't want to have a salon because I was traveling a lot for Vella at that time, 80 days a year around the world, and I doing shows and seminars and photos and films and everything. So I didn't want to have a salon, but I didn't fit anywhere. A straight guy that loves to do hair shows and updos and photo sessions, was not so common, So there were certain salons where you had to have a certain style, and there were old salons in Stockholm at that time. So I didn't fit anywhere. So I had to start my own salon. So I started actually here, 1994, and alone. And then the rest is
history.
Yeah. So it wasn't actually, I didn't want to, but I got forced to because I didn't fit in. Yeah. And I had this book of ideas that I thought that this is the way I want it. Of course, that book, if I look to it today, it doesn't look where we are today because we're always changing because of the environment changing. So we are changing all the time. But when you come to a certain place where you're finished with your idea, you can't stand when you stand. So I had to.
Yeah.
So I actually was forced to do it.
Yeah.
It feels like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. And obviously what you're going to hear inside of this course is, the way Tomas has been able to, achieve all this that he has with the salon today, with highly loyal staff, highly loyal salon clientele, and just a, very well-run business. So, this will be the Samotsoh approach, right? So, like with many things in business, there's an element of science, like this is how you do things to achieve certain things. And then there's an element of art, right? Where everybody needs to kind of take their approach that fits with the culture of the country that you are in, with the specific type of business that you run and so on, right? So what Tomas will be leading us through here is the approach that you are using, and that is working very well here, right? And you will need to think, as we go through this, on like, how does that apply to my business, and how do I get the most out of it?
Yeah, and if we see each other in 5 years, it will be different because I'm on a journey with my people around me, and we are changing all the time. I don't want it to be a concept that will stay a concept for 20 years. I want to be like a fluid that does things that make us feel great and makes the client feel great, and we are heading somewhere. Yeah. We're always heading somewhere.
Yeah.
So just that's the journey.
That is the journey, and so you will get a model in here, which is really how Tomas is working in his salon business today, with a lot of insight. So we're going to start with kind of a introduction, more of a general overview into this element of driving loyalty and also creating loyal clients that promote your business. So we're going to start with more of a general overview of that, and then we're going to dive into this framework where we're going to walk through the specific actions and the specific activities and things that Tomas is running that you can take and model and to copy into your business before we conclude at the end with important takeaways for you to really take action on this and not only leave this at being kind of theory, but actually taking this on board, making it a habit in your business so that you start to see real change. So we're trying to keep the lessons fairly short. Some are a little bit longer when we're having a bit more fun, and some shorter, but really trying to kind of have, one main point and one main takeaway for each lesson so that you can kind of come back and then to rewatch and to go through this at the pace that fits you. And you will also have access to a workbook as part of this. So, you can print that off if you want, and you can take notes inside of that. But that's also just to help you because there's a lot of things that we're going to work through so that you kind of have a reference to come back to in order to drive action on the things that you are learning inside of the course today. So yeah, that's just to give a bit of overview of kind of how this course works and what to expect. So we look forward to meeting you inside the next lesson.